Let's look at factorising an expression such as this, x squared minus x minus 6. Notice this time I've put a minus in front of the x's and I put a minus in front of the 6. Let's see how this works. Is there a common factor? X in there, there's an x there, but there's no x in that term. So 1, 2, 3 terms, there is not an x in every term, no common factor. So it's going to be a double bracket example. Because it's x squared, it must be x with an x. All of that is as per normal for the last few videos. We're looking to find the value that goes there and the value that goes there. To find that, we set up a table at the side with times and plus. The value on the end is -6, goes underneath the times. Now be careful with this, I'll get myself a different colour pen. You've got to write down underneath the plus the value that's in front of the x. And you might say, well, it's just a minus sign on its own. But be aware that if you just see x on its own, it actually means -1x. So be very careful. The value in front of the x is -1. Not just a minus sign, and you don't write minus x, it's -1 because it's -1x. Minus x means -1x, so -1 goes there. That type of question often catches people out because they're not sure. People are not sure what to put underneath the plus sign. They either just put a minus or they write -x and then get confused when they're trying to work out the results from the table. So -1 goes underneath the plus sign. Okay, we're looking for two numbers. One goes there, one goes there. Let's try some combinations then. Some number times by another number gives a -6 answer. Well, they've got to be opposite signs to give a negative. So you know one must be plus and one must be minus. You also know that when you add them together, that you get a -1 answer. Right, well, if you think about that, what that means is that the negatives, using army method, when you add them together, army method, the negatives must be 1 bigger than the positives. So when I'm looking for these two numbers to give 6 when you multiply them, 6 and 1 is not going to be any good because 6 and 1, when you use the army method, cannot possibly give an answer of -1. You can try if you like. You could say +1 with -6. +1 times -6 gives -6. But when you use the army method, the minuses are going to win a fight by 5. And the minuses are going to win by just 1. So what you want, so that's no good. So what you want are two numbers, 1 plus and 1 minus, where the minus is 1 bigger than the plus. But they've got to multiply to give 6. Well, if you think about it, it's got to be +2 with a -3. They multiply together to give -6. And when you add them together with the army method, the minuses would win in a fight because these fight. And they would win by 1. So that's the right combination. So I'd put +2 with -3. Or I could put the -3 first and the +2 afterwards. Okay, let's try another one. If I did x squared minus 2x's, and let's say we're going to have, we need another negative there. So minus, and I'm going to say -15, say. So we've got two minuses going on similar to last time. Okay, no common factor. It's going to be a double bracket. X squared means it's got to be an x and an x. And then let's set up the table to find the two numbers. So a times and a plus. A -15 on the end means -15 goes there underneath the time sign. This time -2, much easier to spot. Not like the -1, you had to be careful with that. This is -2, that goes straight down underneath the plus sign. The two numbers you're looking for multiply to give -15. So let's write down, one must be a plus and one must be a minus, because a plus times a minus is a minus. The two numbers you're looking for must multiply to give 15. Well, if you use 15 and 1, or 1 and 15, there's no way you can add them together to get an answer of -2. They just will not work. So it's got to be a 5 and a 3. So just make sure you put the 5 with the right sign and the 3 with the right sign. The minuses are going to win a fight when you add them together. So the minuses must have the bigger value. So the minus must have a 5 and the plus must have a 3. +3 times -5 is -15. And then when you add them together, army method, Plus and minus army fight. The minuses will win the fight, and they've got 2 extra. So the minus 2 is exactly what we want. That's the right combination. So I'll put the plus 3, and then I'll put the minus 5. And again, I could have written minus 5 first and plus 3 second. It makes no difference. And there you go. Again, you could try expanding out that bracket and then simplifying it. You'd find you get the line above. You could try expanding out that bracket and simplifying it. You'd get the line above. So there's a little useful check that you can do if you want to check this. And that's the end of this little video.